Hi and welcome to Python tutorial of body max index. Let me show you guys how this works. I already have the height and the weight of an individual. We can always reset, and let's come in here and let's enter another height. Say the guy is 1.8 and he weighs about that. There we have the body mass index of 56.17, which makes this guy extra obese. That is how it's calculated. I can always exit if I want. I can reset again and enter some other values. So let's say it's 1.9 and he weighs about 120 kilo. There. So it's about 33.24. So which make this guy obese level number 1. And you can see I also have a scale here. I have a height scale and I also have weight scales there as an indicator, and this is just an indicator as well. So what I'm going to do now is to take you guys straight into Python development environment, and we'll put one of these together. And welcome back to Python. So let's start by importing as follows. So from Tkinter, let's import the following, and we're going to be importing it also. Let's now import Tkinter message library. So I'm just going to say dot message box. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. Double click on that. There. Now I'm going to create a class, and this very class I'm going to call it BMI. Enter a column there. Now I will also define as follows. That is how you type your define, and enter underscore underscore double underscore, then initialize. After that, double underscore again, open a bracket and enter self comma root. So the root, that is more or less the name of my app. So I'm going to press enter. Make sure you indent your system and then enter self again dot root equals root, and self dot root equals title dot title dot title. And let's give my title a name. I'm just going to call that body max index. There we go. Close that up there. And now say self dot root again dot configure, and that will be for my background color. Background equals, I'm just going to make that dark gray. The choice is yours. Select whatever you want. Now underneath here, let me just enter a broken line. So I'm going to create frames, and these frames will be for all of the widget I intend to use. So the very first frame is going to be, let me call that main frame. And main frame is going to be right inside root. So let's enter the widget name. The widget name is called frame, and open a bracket and make sure main frame is inside root. So that should be self dot root really. There. Enter a comma. I'm going to enter a border, and I'm going to make that border about 20 comma width. I'm going to make that 100 and 1350 comma And there's something I missed out here. Let me enter the geometry of self.root here, because we're going to need that as well. That's the size of my application geometry. Okay, I'm going to make that, let it be 1350 times 600. Okay, let's make that 800 instead of 600. And we then say plus 0 plus 0. The plus 0 plus 0 means when the application opens up, it starts from right up there on the left hand side, right up there, and fill up the screen. Okay, let's come back to our frame since that one is sorted. So the height of this frame is going to be approximately, let's go for 700, comma, and let's get it padded as well. The x-axis, that's adding some padding to it, and the x-axis, that's 10, and y-axis, I'm going to make that 10 as well. Then let's say BG, that's going to be gray anyway, equals gray. Now, comma, let's enter the relief attributes. I'm just going to make that rigid. There we go. And finally, main dots grid, and I want that, let's just say dot grid, enter parentheses. So that's my main frame created. And what I would then do is I'm just going to copy all of this, just copy it, because I need two more frames. This one is going to be maybe left frame or right frame, whatever. Left frame, same thing for this as well, and this is going to be right. Okay, we're getting somewhere. All right, and in here, let's get it. I'm going to get it packed instead of putting it in a grid, and let's get it packed to the left side equals left, and this other one side is going to be right. Make this right. There. Okay, I'm just going to speed up the enhancement of these two frames, and I'll get back to you guys. There we go, guys. That's how the two frames are looking. So what I'm going to do now is, let me just round up the whole system, save it, and see how it's going to look like. Okay, so this is how you round it all up. So what I've said is if underscore underscore name underscore underscore equals then underscore underscore main, then root equals this. That is the take into an application name. This is the application name, and I just want it to loop. Okay, so first thing, let's just save it and see how it's going to look like. So right inside here, I'm just going to call it BMI underscore index. So I'm going to save that. Save, that's the name of my app. Okay, now that it's saved, before I run it, look, there's an error here. Let's enter column, and the spelling of grade is wrong. Okay, let's give it a try and see how that looks like. And let's just see. There we go. That's fine. There should be 3 frames in here and 4 frames in there as well. Okay, let's close this, and in here I'm just going to speed that up and show you guys the frames, how it all looks. Okay, those are the lines of the inner frames that I've just created. Have a good look at it, and I've also just added color to the upper one there. That would be for my title. So have a good look at the lines of code for the frames. So I'm now going to run it, and you see how it all looks like there. So we have 4 here and we have 3 here. Okay, so the first thing I like to do now is let's enter title in here. So close that. Alright, for the very first frame, let's enter. That is going to be left 0. Okay, so let's say self dot lbl title equals label, and this label will be right inside frame 0 there. And I'm just going to say comma, and this label we have bottom as index, and that's my title. There we go, comma, and let's get it padded. Left side, I'm going to make that approximately 17, and y-axis padding, I'm going to make that about 4, and let's add a border around it. This border is going to be 1. Then the font is going to be black, so it will have a default font anyway. I don't have to add black, but you can add that if you want, and close that, comma. Then the next thing is, let's say font. The font type I intend to use is going to be Arial, and I'm going to make that approximately 40. That's the size of my font, and set it to bold, comma. Now the background color for this label, I'm going to make the background color sky blue as well. This very color you have in here. Okay, if you notice I have double quote in here and I'm using single quote in here. It works in both in the same way. And let's say width equals I'm going to make that about 20 there, and I'm just going to get this packed. Copy that, come right down here, paste, dot, packed there. So let's save and run, or run and save. Let's see, we have an error there. Okay, we need a comma here. Let's just enter a comma and run it one more time. There we go, that's my title taken care of. Just like I said, the default color will be black. If I take this off, it will still be black. So let's run it and you see how it's going to look like. There, the default color is black. Okay, now alright, there's something I would like to do right up here. If I run it, I just want to add a scale up here, and I will use that opportunity to add another scale here. I just want you guys to see how to create a scale. So underneath here, I'm going to create my scale. So let's come down so you guys can see it. I'm going to say self dot, the very first scale I will name that as body height. Right, so body height equals widget scale. Okay, but this should be uppercase, the S should be uppercase, and the following attribute will be added. Body height, I want you to be right inside right frame 2. That is for the body height. No, it's 0. It's going to be 0, comma. Now variable, I'm supposed to declare some variables, and this variable, I'm just going to name that variable 3. Is not declared. Why I am at it, I might as well just take care of those variables. So let's go right up here, and right underneath these frames, I'm going to declare my variable right underneath these frames. I'll copy that and just paste it right here. The very first variable is going to be variable 1, and for variable 1, let's say string. And let's make that and enter parentheses. So I'm just going to copy that, and that will be for 2, 3, and 4. So this will be 2, 3, 4. For the first two variables, those are strings. For 3 and 4, I'm going to make them double. So highlight that. 4 will be double, and this will be double as well. 3 will be double, 4 will be double. There. Now let's come right down here. So variable number 3, which is this one, I would like it to start from, so the index for that would be from, let's say, underscore equals 1, 2, 5, comma, and let's set the height to the length, sorry, approximately 507, comma, then tick interval, that will be equals to 1, and enter a column there, the comma, sorry. Then underneath, I'm going to enter the orientation. Let's say orient equals, I want it to be horizontal, equals horizontal, comma, and the state. Because I don't want you to be able to adjust it, I'm going to make the state to be disabled. Okay, if you want, you can always enable your state. Just delete this, state equals disabled. And I also would like a label right there, so let's enter the name of the label. So that's going to be height in meters square. Right, close that. And finally, let me add a font, or add some font onto it. Copy, paste, just dump it right there. And the size of the font, I'm going to make that approximately 10. Let's just go for 10, and that will be all. Now, this very scale, copy that and get it, set it in a row. Dot grade, delete that. Dot grade, the row will be 0. Row equals, okay, for the very first one, I can make it 0 or 1, but anyway, it's going to be 1. It's only 1 there, so there. Close that. Alright, so I'm going to try this out. Let's get rid of these minor errors and close this here. And this need to be indented. Yeah. Okay. Save it first and then run it. There we go. That's my very first scaling there. Because I've deleted it, I cannot move it, but because I disabled it, let's get rid of that and just copy that, and you see how it works. So if I've cut it off, so if I run it now, okay, so I can move that around, okay, but I don't want the user to be able to tamper with it. That's why I disabled it. So that's back on. Copy it, and I'm going to now paste it for the second one. So come right down here, and the second one is going to be called width. So in here that'll be the width. Right, change this as well. And in the case of the width, that is going to be inside frame number 2. This very right, frame 2. So change this to 2. And the text content, let's change the text content to, that will be width in kilograms. Okay, so let's try it out and see how that's going to look like as well. No, let's change the variable. The variable of that is 4. So I'm going to run it and see. Okay, I have my second one. Okay, and I have this as well, so that's fine. But look at the interval. I'm going to change the interval because the interval for that is totally different. I'm going to make it about 500 instead of 5. So that'll be 500, and the interval right here should be different. So let's say about 50. The interval here is 1. So let's run it and see how it's going to look like. There we go, look at that. Okay, so that's fine. Now you've seen how to create the scale, so that's fine. So what we now need to do is to enter our, let's add a label now. Let's see it once more. Right, that's fine. So I'm going to enter let's say text widget here. Alright, for the text widget I will also need to add a title, so let's come in and just speed that up. So that will be the text widget. So I have a label for the title, and that's the text widget. Okay, here is the label, and right underneath is the text widget. So the text widget, I will also like to populate that just to give an indication of the weight, the BMI calculation and so on. That is the text widget. So let's close that and come right down here. Underneath here, let's say self dot txt body max table dot insert, and the very first data that I will insert in there is going to be, let's say, the meaning of each of these. So space space space, one more, that's about 4. Okay, close that, and plus BMI, and close that as well, and I'm going to enter space 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 as well. Okay, let's come in and just say next line. There, close that. If I run it, this is what you guys will see. There we go. Okay, and now let's add the various meaning of each of the body mass index. So I'm going to copy this, copy, come right underneath here, paste. I think we have about 4 different value. Okay, and this one is going to be the normal weight. In case of normal weight, that would be, the value would be about, let's say, 19 by 24, 24.9. is it 0.9 or 0.9? You guys can always do your own research. The next one is going to be, let's say, overweight. Do your own research. You should be able to see how it is defined. Overweight. In case of overweight, that will be 25 to 29. I think is dot. Yeah. Now, obese. For the obese or obesity, there's there's 3 levels and more. So we have the first level. The case of the first level, that will be what? Let's see, the value of that will be 30 by 34.9 and so on. So I'm going to copy that and just change the obesity around. Okay guys, those are the data that you need to know for the indicators of your body mass index. So let's run it and see how it looks like. There we go. Normal weight, overweight, obesity 1, 2 and 3. So with that guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial for now, and I'll see you guys shortly.